Hey guys, it's Tyler Wisler, and today let's discuss leather versus fabric. Why? Because a lot of you have questions as to what might be more appropriate for you and your furniture choices. So let's get into it. First thing to consider is comfort. How do they feel? Let's talk about leather. So leather tends to be cool to the touch, and it's a little more rigid, a little more structured when you sit down on it. Whereas fabric tends to be a little softer, a little cushier, a little plusher. Leather tends to lend itself well to very traditional looks like this Chesterfield, or very sleek and modern looks. But when you actually mix the two and say do fabric on a Chesterfield style sofa, it becomes very contemporary and modern. Maintenance. It's the biggest question that you all are asking, and really what's the difference between leather and fabric with regards to that? Well, when we're talking about maintenance and leather, most upholstery leather tends to be cow leather, which in general is a very durable and sturdy material and can withstand scratches, pet claws, just a lot of different types of abuse. But if we break down leather, there are different types of leather. So this leather tends to be much smoother and has a shiny finish to it, where this one tends to be much more pebbled. Now, the more texture that you have on a material, the easier it is to hide blemishes. Same goes for fabrics. So most fabrics that we use on upholstery tend to be chenilles or heavy wovens, like these guys. The reason being is you can hide a multitude of sins in here, so it really depends on what you do on an everyday basis in your home. When we're talking leather, one of the great things about it is that as it ages, as it gets used and scarred, if you will, it creates a natural patina. And a patina is basically showing off the age of the leather, whereas fabric needs a little more maintenance because you need to just look out for it a little more. Pet hair, dust, it's gonna stick to this guy more than it will this. So again, something else to think about. Let's talk money. How much is it going to cost? There's a big misconception that leather is automatically gonna be more money than fabric. Totally not true. Everything is relative. So fabrics that are made with materials such as silk or mohair, yeah, that's just going to bump up the cost and can be just as much as leather. And leather, like we said before, most of upholstery leather is cowhide. Now, if you use something like a pigskin or a buffalo, that actually might reduce the cost. But if you use something like lambskin or goatskin, that will jack up the cost. So everything is relative, but at the end of the day, what really matters is how does it feel to you? When we're talking about the style and sort of the application of when you use fabric versus leather, historically speaking, leather has been used on very traditional pieces of furniture or on extremely modern and sleek pieces of furniture, where fabric falls somewhere in between. So for me personally, what I like to do is every space actually has a mixture of the two. I don't really exclusively ever do an all leather seating area or all fabric. I like to mix them because I think that they play nicely together. So if you've got a big leather sofa, put beautiful, sumptuous fabric pillows on there. It just helps mix and match, and things become more dynamic. So whether you pick leather or fabric, it's all your personal choice, and I hope that you are designing your best life.